In the book of Revelation, Jesus Christ is revealed. John's vision begins with Jesus. He heard a loud voice telling him to write to 7 churches in Asia. And verse 12 then tells us, I turned around to see the voice that was speaking to me. And when I turned, I saw 7 golden lampstands, and among the lampstands was someone like a son of man. Who was this standing among the 7 lampstands made of gold? It is revealed to be Jesus. He's the one who called himself the Son of Man. It's a distinctive title in the New Testament. But here John says that he was like the Son of Man. John is quoting a bit of Daniel 7 here, where Daniel in his vision saw someone like a son of man coming with the clouds of heaven. He approached the Ancient of Days and was led into his presence. He was given authority, glory, and sovereign power. All nations and peoples of every language worshiped him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion that will not pass away, and his kingdom is one that will never be destroyed. It's Jesus Christ. When John turned around to see the voice, he saw Jesus. And he tells us that Jesus was dressed in a robe reaching down to his feet and with a golden sash around his chest. The hair on his head was white like wool, as white as snow. This is again language borrowed from Daniel chapter 7, except this time it's language that is used to describe the Ancient of Days, who had clothing as white as snow, and his hair was white like wool. In other words, Jesus looks like the Ancient of Days. He looks like God Almighty. His eyes were like blazing fire, John tells us in verse 14. Again, using words from Daniel 7, but this time words that described God's throne, blazing with fire. Verse 15, his feet were like bronze glowing in a furnace, and his voice was like the sound of rushing waters. He was radiating light, and his voice was not just like a trumpet, but like the sound of a powerful waterfall. In his right hand, he held 7 stars. He had power over the heavenly bodies, and coming out of his mouth was a sharp, double-edged sword. This may be a variation of Isaiah 49 too, where the servant of the Lord has a mouth like a sharpened sword. The picture is not just of power, but also the power to cut, to hurt, to punish. His words and teachings have the power of life and death. And the last thing that John mentions is his face was like the sun shining in all its brilliance. It's so bright you can't even look at it. The picture here is power and glory, majesty, something to inspire awe. We would, like John did, faint at the sight. It just overwhelms all our senses. And this is the context in which we should read the 7 letters to the 7 churches in Asia. The power, the majesty, the glory, the beauty, and brilliance all command our attention and our obedience.